but the perception landed you there with the key and with your name on title.
And you know, the real reason that I landed there is because I was in that neighborhood on a daily basis working with an attorney who lived there, and I said within myself, God, I don't believe you would have me exposed to this level of life and not be able to create it for myself. See, I felt I deserved this. I felt like I deserved to live like this.
There you go.
And other people would come, because his office was in his home. Then other people, clients would come, and everybody would talk about how this is so nice, and then, you know, and I wish I could live like this, and you could feel the jealousy. But inside me, this little black girl, and it was, put it this way, there's no other black family on the street. Let's just leave it like that, okay? So you get the picture, right? This little black girl felt, I don't think I would be up here unless I could create it for myself. I deserve this. And from there, this person of another persuasion called me like about a day after I said that inside myself and said, Leslie, meet me for breakfast. I met him for breakfast. He said, listen, I'm going to buy a lot on this street. I'm going to build you a house.
Oh,
I had never told him that that's what I wanted or anything. He just said, listen, I'm going to buy a lot. I'm going to build you a house.
So wait a minute. This secret desire was casting a mold in the universe and set up the players and the scenario.
Set the whole thing up.
So it can all pour into the mold. Brought all the relatives in play, all of the relations, all of that which will relate to it.
And people who come on our street, they always tell me, wow, out of all the houses on the street, that individual who helped me and your house are the nicest houses on the street.
Wow.
You know what?
Because it got poured into the same mold.
In the mold, Elon Boschar. Colin Harrison says, yes, Mark Zuckerberg is one of the youngest billionaires in the world because of perception.
CEO of Facebook, founder of Facebook.
He became a billionaire on perception?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what his net worth is, but it's up there. But the perception is Facebook. Perception became the reality.
The perception became the reality.
Right. And he was inspired by other social networking sites that he saw, but his inspiration then led him to create something that was better. So inspiration, perception, all of that stuff becomes reality. You know, so you have to constantly look for inspiration in each and everything you see out there. One, you know, Sean Diddy Combs, you know, he had a line that he said a couple of years ago. He said his mother always asked him when he was a kid, "What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be?" And his response was, "The thing I want to be most is great." So how do you quantify being great? That just opens the door to everything. But that was his inspiration. His inspiration was seeing guys in his neighborhood who he thought were great. Didn't know what they did. He just saw the way they carried themselves. He saw greatness. And, of course, the rest is history for him. So inspiration, perception, and all those things become reality.
Wow.
And those are things that you constantly, and you know, for me, I constantly work and strive for.
Let's talk about the politics of Barack Obama. One, using perception.
Absolutely. I mean, here's a guy.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
you know, convinced. Was it like perception taken to another level?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, what really set him apart from other politicians is his 2004 address to the Democratic National Convention. In which case, here's a guy who said, you know what, as opposed to being separate entities, Republicans and Democrats, let's all come together. The reason why that was important because that was at a time where the country was being polarized. You know, we were going in different ways. He was the one guy who said, you know what, we can all come together and create a better union. These are things that we've all heard before, but when he puts it out there, now all of a sudden he's perceived as being the holder, the standard bearer, the light, if you will. And then he took that around from within, the rest is history. And hopefully he runs again.
Wow. Yes, Prophet.
I wonder, too, Your Grace and Broker Ben Davis, if a great deal of Obama's appeal was and is his it may be perceived, authenticity. He seems so much like he is dealing out of his authentic self. That, you know, he's not just getting up and saying, let's all get together.
Right.
He really, that's what he believes. That's what he lives. And it's almost like when you're at one with yourself, like your Grace, you say, you know, I'm a prophet. What I do is prophesy. You know, you're at peace and you're at oneness with who you are. And it's almost like because you left the post office and you just embraced that I'm a prophet, the universe began to open up to you.
Yeah.
It's like it validates that authenticity.
But you know, the only way faith can operate is out of the authentic self, because the Bible teaches us that a double-minded man is what? Unstable
Right.
in all his ways. I remember when we used to talk about the dot-com in the 90s, because Ben Davis was my broker back in the 90s. I used to tell him I like Amazon. He says, Bishop, Amazon, there's no reason for Amazon to even be in business.
Right.
He said, they're not making no money. I said, but look, this looks like we can be going in the future. I like Amazon. Let me bet. He said, I'm not going to let you put your money in Amazon.
Right. Absolutely. And at the time, Amazon, you know, the perception then evaporated. Stock
Right.
went from 400 down to $8 a share.
Wow.
But during that period, though, their business was getting stronger. The reason why the stock is now back to $130 a share, where it closed out today, is because now their revenues have caught up to what the perception is.
Wow.
So they had. So now they're matching.
Then let me ask you something. You just said something. Do you think the universe tests our consistency to see if we can stay there long enough until the revenue catches up to the perception?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything rotates around seed time and harvest. You know, so, you know, Amazon, 10 years ago, that was the seed. The time then was going through that period where they're in business, but they're not generating revenue. Now it's harvest time, where the business is still there, they're generating revenue, and they're the best at doing it. And they're the only ones out there that are doing it the way they are. So everything has that testing period, that time, if you will.
Wow. The perception. You know. Talk to me about another one that is perception, and that is the one where people buy all this stuff, eBay.
eBay. Same scenario. eBay's business was a little stronger out the box. The problem that they have, or the challenges that they've had, is they made a couple of acquisitions. One that worked out well, one that didn't work out well. PayPal, which a lot of people may know, they acquired that a few years ago. And that's worked out well. That's been a cash cow for eBay.
eBay
Owns PayPal.
own PayPal?
Owns PayPal.
They own the place that comes and bring them their money.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, then how do Priceline, unless I'm just oblivious of what's going on, Priceline usually deal with travel, like plane tickets, hotel.
Right.
Plane hotels, all of that business is doing pretty bad. It's down by about 40% or whatever.
Right.
How do they have a
Well,
growing...
The Priceline's model is they offer the consumer the best price available anytime, anywhere. So now in this recessionary period, people are looking for the best prices ever. So rather than go to, say, American Airlines or Sheraton Hotel's main website, you may go to Priceline and shop around. They're getting increased traffic because people are now looking for better deals during this period.
Wow and wow. So here we have a lesson on faith today that's really taken us to a whole nother level. And based on the faith or perception, we see a woman got a baby through perception. And let's go here quickly to 2 Kings, chapter 4, I believe it is. And I want to go to verse number 9.